This is the hotel where we had our evening meal on the Tuesday before starting the walk. We didn't arrive here until about 7:45, and by the time we'd had the evening meal and got sorted out, it was almost dark. But as you can see, it was a superb evening. So this is Wednesday morning, and as you can see, we're packing up. A bit of a disappointing start to the weather because it's a bit drizzly, but it did brighten up later on. And here's Peter trying to sort out the physics of why the stuff bag gets smaller overnight. So this is the official start of the Southern Upland Way, and there you can see Peter keen and ready to go, chomping at the bit. And that's where we go, up there. This is Blackhead Lighthouse, and when we arrive there we leave the coastal path heading north and then start heading east. And here we've got remains of a shipwreck. And this is Wednesday evening. We've had a meal at the Plantings Inn in Castle Kennedy, and now we're into the Castle Kennedy estate. This is called the White Lock, or the Lock of Inch. And all we've got to do is find a pitch now. Well, we found a pitch. It was in the coach park, pretty stony, and it was a windy night, but the pegs did hold. And this is Thursday morning. It's still quite windy, as you can probably hear in the mic. Anyway, this is the Castle Kennedy ruins. So this is a shot of the canal that runs along the grounds into the White Lock.
Are we there yet?
Oh, we're still there. So we're up on the moors now, and supposedly at various places along this walk are kists, K-I-S-T-S, and in a kist is supposedly a waymark. They were very few and far between, but this was the first one we found. Don't know whether this is supposed to be the proper waymark or whether it's just something that's been put in by somebody else. Anyway, I left it there for somebody else to find. And then we encountered some Highland cows. Head 'em up, move 'em out. Hands up if you remember rawhide. Now, this is the Scottish symbol for long distance paths, and this is just a 360-degree panorama just to show you how desolate it is, really. And then I think, well, where's Peter? He should be here somewhere. He's behind you. Oh no, he isn't. Oh yes, he is. Now, we spent this night at Beehive Bothy, which is just coming up now. We thought we had it to ourselves at first, but we were joined by a couple of deer stalkers, which was a bit lucky because they let us have some of their water. So this is Friday morning, and these are the Lagan stones, apparently waymarkers or something on an old Celtic route. About 2.5 miles away from Bargrinnen. In that case that should be Loch Ochiltree, And looking westish. And then just a little further on, heading to the wind, on the top of Glenvernock Fell. I think it was on this section that Peter strained his ankle as we were dashing for the bus, so we didn't have to stand about waiting a couple of hours for the next one. I'm on the lookout for kists and waymarks, but got a funny feeling this isn't one. So as the date said, we're into Saturday now. We spent the night in Newton Stewart and got the bus back up to Bagrennan this morning. So this is the waters of Trool. It was a good day weather-wise. It's still a cool north-easterly breeze, but other than that it was wall-to-wall sunshine. Shortly before reaching Loch Trool, took a detour to have a look at this martyr's tomb. It's a place where 6 Covenanters were shot whilst praying 320 years ago. So, Trool. Break now. Inside the Loch Trool. Approaching the end of day 4, which is another bothy called White Lagan Bothy, and there in front is Loch D. I don't know what this is, we'll have to research this a bit later. This is a 1.5 ton sculpture of a giant axe head. It closely resembles the actual Neolithic stone axes, and there's the runic inscriptions on top. And this is White Lagan Bothy.
Don't you worry about me. You just lay there, enjoy yourself. I'll do what work, don't worry. Earn me keep. You sweep up in the morning beside me. It's going out quicker than I can get it going. I can't get wood in quick enough. Put proper logs, not the twigs. For you.
Look, my battery's running out.
That's all my patience. Right. Bloody hell, whose idea was to go bloody camping?
No, my eyes are stinging.
Hey?
Right, that's enough of this then. This is the view as we leave White Lagan Bothy. So day 5. Only about 2.5 miles west of St Johnstown of Dalry. So there's our target for today, St Johnstown of Dalry. And this this is our pitch for the night. Just a farm down the bottom of the main street, a pub just a few hundred yards away. What more could you want? And this is what happens when you have a clear sky at night. Icy tent next morning.
Before we take it down. Start by looking west towards the Galloway Hills and then coming round looking east towards I don't know what.
Probably the Lowther Hills.
A few miles out from Dalry now, or St John's Town. They're having an unofficial rest. You're going to have me laughing again in a minute.
And then we came across these arches on the hills. And then a couple of goats.
I think this is Alan's cairn.
Yes, it's a memorial to George Allen and Margaret Gracie, who were shot somewhere near here, and it lies on the junction of 3 parish boundaries.
That's Polski Och Bothy, our accommodation for tonight.
And this is another kist, and these are the waymarks that are in. Just cap badges or typing badges. And this is how it was found. Unfortunately, all the cover's smashed.
It's a bit of a murky day today. Just approaching Sanquhar, and it looks a bit black.
We had a couple of showers in Sanquhar, but by the time we left there, it had brightened up quite a lot.
So this is One Lockhead. I'm just setting off from One Lockhead.
So this is Wednesday morning.
Nice sunny morning again.
So we've left One Lockhead behind, and we're approaching the top of Lowther Hill, which is the highest point on the Southern Upland Way. Back down there in the valley is One Lockhead. That's where we camped last night. And this is the giant golf ball on the top of Lowther Hill.
that's looking east from Lowther Hill.
Here we see quite a few mountain hares just changing colour.
Looking northeast and coming down to east from the Lowthers. And then down to southeast.
So looking back west to Lowther Hill, and then the reservoir, which I think is Dare Reservoir, D-A-E-R, where we had lunch. And then eventually we got down to Beatock, where we left the route and got the bus into Moffat. There we had a day off, let Peter rest his ankle a bit and get some treatment for it, and off we went again on the Friday.
A few miles out of Beatock now. Steep climbs today, and that's just across the valley where I suppose we could have been. And that's where we've come from.
This is over Poor Hope Bothy, where we had our lunch. And not far after leaving this bothy, we've quite a long trek on the road, about 5 miles actually.
This is our last climb of today, over to St Mary's Lock. I'm not sure what happens when we get to the head of this burn, but we've still got a lot of climbing to do yet. That's our first view of St Mary's Lock. Saturday morning at Tibby Shields Inn. This is St Mary's Lock.
Wooden sculptures that we come across shortly signify a point where the lock will narrow in thousands of years' time and will form 2 locks.
Dryhope Tower. About 4.5 miles away from Innerleithen.
This is Tweedside Caravan Park in Leithen. I think we're just going for our evening meal now, although it's very quiet. So here we are Sunday morning, and the circle's in the heather.
So we're near the top of Mintmore. Resolution Point.
At the time I thought this was the Minch Moor Kist, but it's I found out later on that it's actually not, it's the Cheese Well, or the Cheese Stone Well perhaps.
So evidently that wasn't way a kist that this is. So now we'll look, see if there's anything inside it. Apart from a bolt holding it down, nothing.
I know from this angle there are looks to be two, but these are the three brethren. And here they are, with the trig point just behind.
About 4 miles or so out of Galashiels.
This is the River Tweed. So it's Monday morning and we're leaving Galashiels, back with the Tweed on our way to Melrose.
That's another kist. And the only thing inside was some Southern Upland Way badges, which we've already got. Just arriving in Lauder. So we're climbing up to the Lammermuir Hills from Lauder now. Cloudy but dry at the moment.
This is our penultimate day now, leaving Lauder.
So these must be the Lammermuir Hills we're heading for.
This track seemed to go on forever. Obviously because of the low cloud there were no views as such. So a bit of a boring drag this morning. However, it eventually brought us to two stone monuments called Twin Laws, and the story behind that apparently is that two brothers had to fight each other to the death, not knowing they were brothers. So as we drop down, the sun comes out a little bit, and there's Watchwater Reservoir. We've got a few spring lambs.
About a mile away from Abbey St Bathans on our last day. A murky, misty day today, though. Again. That would appear to be the Abbey of Abbey St Bathans. It's turned out to be quite a pleasant afternoon. And it's looking where we're going to Coburn's Path, only a couple of miles maybe from the coast now. And that's our first glimpse of the sea. And the view's opened up now properly. So this is the finish.
So that's it. I'll apologise for the camera being at an angle, but I couldn't get it to sit up straight.